Hey y'all, welcome to Mystic Hand Tarot's monthly tarot forecast for March 2022. Welcome back to my Patreon. Thank you all so much for being here and contributing to the work that I do. I'm so grateful to be back sharing these videos with you. Today, for our March forecast, we will be using the 5 Cent Tarot, as well as the Titania's Fortune deck and the Romance Angels for the messages on love. And then we have the Archangel's inspirational cards as well for the Archangel of the month. And we'll be looking at love and life purpose for these monthly forecasts, and love and relationships and life purpose. So, going into, relationships in general, and then using the Romance Angels cards to really hone in on a message for love and that type of relationship, so we can get a little bit more broad in these forecasts. I also have a little breakdown of some of the highlights in astrology for the month. So we have the new moon in Pisces on March 2nd, which has an optimistic, lighthearted feel to it, although I feel that there could be some ways that we might be going inward emotionally as well, because Pisces being a water sign, there's emotion there. And with some of the news that we're entering this month with, there may be some ways that we are sort of turning inward, which I feel the new moon has that energy about it, turning inward, sort of looking at who we are, looking at where we are, and trying to piece together how we feel about what's going on in our world. But I do think that there is some optimism with Pisces being in its light side, a very bright, optimistic, and happy-go-lucky sign. So there's some possibility for some lightheartedness and optimism as well on the 2nd. We also have on the 6th, Mars and Venus are both entering Aquarius, and this is going to bring people to come together. It's a consciousness raising time, bringing people together on issues, social issues, and social justice. So while this has potential for creative solutions, there's also a potential for there to be maybe some mob mentality around this energy. So just as that is unfolding, be aware of that. But it's also a great time for people to come together, make connections around issues that are important to them, and take action in a positive way, as well as potential for things to go south, with Mars being kind of an explosive planet. We also have on the 9th, Mercury is entering Pisces. So this would be a very good time to be sensitive in communication. Use your communication to really express how you're feeling, what you're thinking, what's going on inside of you, and connecting with others in an emotional way, in a very meaningful, deeper way than just surface level as well. And then on the 18th, we have the full moon in Virgo. And this is a great time to get things done. Virgo is a very organized sign, very action-oriented sign, and grounded in the practical. So really working on getting things done, highlighting what it is you want to get done. And I also feel like the full moon is a time when we're really sorting things out and deciding, what do we want to keep? What do we want to let go of? And, trying to kind of sort through those things and get organized about what to keep and what to get rid of. And spring cleaning might be a great time to do it on this full moon in Virgo. And then we have the spring equinox on the 20th, which for me personally in my practices, I like to use that as a jumping off point for the new year. It's sort of closer to the Chinese New Year, which is closer to springtime, which always in my mind makes sense as a new year, a new time. Things are starting to bloom. Things are starting to get warmer. The weather's changing again. So for me, it makes a little more sense for it to be the new year. But certainly everybody has their own traditions and their own ways of following the calendar year. So I'm just looking forward to getting outside again and enjoying the new warmer weather, and being with people outside will be really nice. All right. let's go ahead and take a look at what the 5 cent tarot holds for us for this month. For March 2022, what wisdom for relationships and love? That's our first category, as love is number one in my book. And I'm talking about universal love, brotherly love, sisterly love, love on all levels. Of course, romantic love too, but let's look at relationships and what March has in store for us there. Alrighty. Ask for truth to be spoken and guidance to be delivered. Here we are. Ooh, we have the Judgment card. So I love this particular version of the Judgment card. It is beautiful with the butterfly and it looks like trumpet flower at the bottom there, which is interesting. It's, if it is a sacred datura or trumpet flower, be a moonflower as well, but that sacred datura plant is a plant used for vision quests, visioning. It has a psychedelic effect. So, taking that into account with the interpretation of this card, it's like seeing the future, visioning, making some decisions from a deeper place than just the mind, and really coming to a crossroads for yourself in some situation. And this could be a positive. It could be recognizing you want to go deeper, or you want to start in a new direction in your partnership or in a certain relationship. It can be a friendship, of course, too. But wanting to, take a new turn, and we're moving into the springtime. So things are opening up, things are changing, things are blossoming and expanding and growing in a new direction. So this is an opportunity to take a relationship in a new direction, or all your relationships. This could be your relationship with yourself and how that's affecting everyone else in your life. So, moving in new directions, being at a crossroads and having to make a decision. And yes, it could mean, leaving some relationships behind, but ultimately, these decisions are for the better. With this in the upright, you're not necessarily moving backwards or moving to darker times. There may be some mourning needed if you are actually releasing some relationships. But all in all, this is a positive card for relationships for this month. And let's see what Titania's fortune cards would like to add to this Judgment card for us. We have the Bear. So coming out of hibernation. Totally. We've got the springtime coming in. The Bear is waking up and getting out and being social, hanging out with people. I also do feel, though, there is this aspect of the Bear traditionally that is going inside, right? Because we are thinking, bears hibernate. They go into their cave. So there's this inward turning with the Bear, but I also feel like because we're looking at the springtime energy, that this is, kind of coming out of that inward turning as well and coming back out into the world, perhaps making new friendships, perhaps reflecting on the old. And with this, Judgment card being a crossroads, there is going to be some reflection, on what's come before, so that you can decide how to move forward, so you can decide what comes next, so that you can move forward in a new way. And taking that time to reflect and turn inward and use your intuition is all an aspect of what Bear medicine and Bear energy has to offer. Let's take a look at the romance angels here and see what they would like to add for love and romance in the relationship category. All right, and we have finances and career. Financial issues are a factor in your relationships. So this could be definitely in a marriage partnership type relationship, somewhere, some situation where you're living with someone and finances or your career, their career, it's affecting the relationship. Someone's working too hard, not getting enough rest, not getting their own needs met, so it's wearing on the relationship. Could be someone's not working enough, not bringing enough to the relationship in terms of the financial responsibilities that they have, have to contribute. But this also could be a situation where you're realizing your career, your work, whatever it is, even if you're in school, it's getting to a point where you're realizing it's taking up too much of your time, and perhaps it is inhibiting your social life, inhibiting your ability to date or get out into the dating pool to meet new people. And this is coming into question, and that could be also where this crossroads is leading, is moving you out of a situation of working too hard, focusing so much on your career that you're not as present in your relationships or as present for a relationship. All right, let's go ahead and cut the deck and see what's in store for life purpose for this month. All right, in this card at the top of the deck, we have the Hermit in the reverse. And the Hermit in the reverse is, coming out of a time of turning inward, really. I mean, you're starting to perhaps move outward and look outward and seek outward for some solutions in this area of your life, whether it's creative inspiration, an idea for your job, for your career, ideas, maybe looking at what other people are doing in this part of their lives, or what other people might be saying to you, and really taking that into account with regard to a project you're working on, or to your spirituality, or to some aspect of what you feel is rooted in your life purpose. This could also be, moving from that space of having gone inward and learned a lot about yourself and learned about your path and learned about some things on that spiritual level, and moving out into the world and sharing that with other people, sharing that, whether it's on a one-to-one basis with friends or family, or even, on a video platform like this, sharing your message, your ideas, your creative inspiration with an audience, with one other person, and really using that to affect other people and get them inspired, get them excited, get them in tune with something deeper within themselves. All right, and then we have the Woman coming out of the Titania's Fortune cards. And so these two together, there's definitely a more feminine energy with the Hermit card in the reverse. I don't see that as much, but this feminine energy is about being more maybe soft in your approach to what you're working on, and not needing to take such an active role, not needing to be as heavy-handed with something. If this is a project you're working on, maybe you're needing to take a step back so you can look at what this whole thing is. And this could even, go into account for a spiritual practice or something that you're learning about on the spiritual level, taking a step back to see the whole picture, to see the depth of what's really going on. Maybe you're too close to an issue that you're working on, or too close to the material that you've been sourcing or working with, and you're just not seeing a solution and not getting as much information as you could be getting from your intuition, because your mind might be too busy. So letting your intuition come through could also be a part of this card, as well as that Hermit in the reverse. The Hermit in the reverse could definitely be blocking the intuition and not really hearing it, not really seeing what's right in front of you. All right, so I'm going to take a look at the bottom of the deck and see what that card is so we can get a sense of what overall energy we're looking at here. We have the Two of Needles. So this card is, something that you're going to have to make a decision on. And that Judgment card, being a crossroads is a decision point. There's a decision that needs to be made. It may not be an easy one. It may not be a very intuitive one. It might be something that you're really going to have to struggle over and work hard on. But ultimately, you're going to have to make this decision at some point. So give yourself some time and space to do that. That could also be what this Hermit card in the reverse and the Woman card are pointing to, is letting the intuition come forward instead of using the mind so much. The central image here with the bat, there is a blindfold. So the blindfold is about going within, looking within, seeing what's going on inside before you say something outwardly, before you make a choice, before you act too abruptly or too quickly on something, and just allowing the inner voice to come through. So one thing I wanted to touch on that I did not is the numerology for the month of March. So we have the number 3, and then we add 2, 2, and 2 for 2022. So that would be a 9, and that is actually the Hermit. So we have an interesting dynamic here with the Hermit as the numerology for the month, as well as in the reverse, it's our life purpose card. Interesting that that's happening here with the Hermit in the upright. It is about turning within, looking within, getting that wisdom from within. And with some of what we're seeing playing out on the world stage right now, it may be that we need to sort of go within ourselves and discover, what can we do? How can we impact the world in a positive way right now? Because a lot of people are hurting. A lot of people are going through things, including some of us. I mean, as individuals, we're all going through things. And the more we know about what's going on in the world, the more difficult it can be when we have our own private struggles and our own private battles that we're going through. So using that Hermit energy, going within, discovering our inner wisdom, discovering who we want to be in the world and what we want to bring to the world, could be a big message overall for this month as well. And maybe that's what some of this Two of Needles is pointing to as well, is really trying to come to a good solid place of decision in what you want to bring out, what you want to present, what you want to share with people as we're coming out of our homes now, in terms of the wintertime is over. There's a little less pressure from COVID. There's a little less pressure socially right now. So I think that we're going to be seeing a lot more opportunities for socializing. At least I hope so, over the coming months. And this is a time to just come to a place of deciding, well, who do I want to be, and how do I want to show up, especially for my community or for the people that I haven't seen in a while, or what relationships am I really holding on to right now, and what relationships do I want to see kind of take a back seat or not be the highlight anymore. All right. And we've got the Archangel for the month coming out here. What Archangel wishes to assist us in this month of March 2022? All right. We have Jeremiah. Jeremiah is the life review angel. So interesting. There's so much here about turning within, checking out what's going on inside, And that is Jeremiah's message for us as well. He is the life review. He is the clairvoyance. He is representative of clairvoyance. So, the ability to see a little bit further down the road. And I think that part of having that ability to utilize your intuition in that way is understanding yourself, understanding how the world works. When we understand ourselves, we can understand each other a little bit better too. So that gives us this ability to have a clearer sight, a clearer vision for what might be going on with other people, and even just to have that confidence to be able to open up to them and ask them how they're doing, and let them know how we're doing too. He is also the representative for karma. So karma is one of those little understood things. It's not necessarily directly like what you put out there is what comes back to you. But my personal understanding of it is, what we invest ourselves in, what we put our energy towards, is what we're going to continue to grow in our lives. And so that's sort of our karma, and it can be held over from past lives. Things that we did in past lives are coming to this life to be settled and put to ease, put to balance. But Jeremiah, with his life review aspect, where Jeremiah's showing up, he's saying, take a look at your life. Who are you right now? Who do you want to be? What things need to be brought into balance? What things need to be carried over into the future? What do you want your future to look like? What do you want your future to look like based on what your past has been? So really spending some time with some review this month. Overall, we've got a lot of turning within, asking questions, making decisions, being open to possibility without going too far ahead of ourselves, getting too far ahead of ourselves, blocking anything from coming in, but also needing to cut some things off and needing to bring some things into balance. So, yeah, I hope that everyone has a safe March and a beautiful entry into the springtime. I will be putting out 2 videos this month. One will be for the full moon in Virgo, and then one for the new moon in Pisces, which is closer to the day that I'm releasing this. But yeah, please be on the lookout for those. Those will be on my YouTube channel and sent out to the email list, which I think all of you are on. And I hope that you enjoy this coming weekend, and take care. Bye.